Good afternoon, everybody. It's good to be back. Secretary Donovan, welcome to one of the really great towns of the Jersey Shore. The Secretary was walking up and down the street and said, geez, he can't believe how horrible things are. And I said, man, it looks great now compared to where we were about 90 days ago, and it's a testimony to the mayor and the council and their leadership, to all of the folks who work for the town and all the citizens in this community. We were across the street at Bain's. So great to see him reopened and working, and such a great positive attitude that you knew they would have. And they're helping to lead the town along with a lot of the other places that are starting to reopen now, and that's really good news. We have a lot of work to do, and we know that. And we know that 100 days into this thing, we're nowhere near ready for what we're going to confront this summer, which is going to be a bunch of tourists who want to come back down here and use Seabright's beaches and enjoy the beautiful Jersey Shore. But I believe that by the time the summer comes, we will be ready to get those tourists back here. And part of the reason we're going to be able to do that is because of the supplemental appropriation that the President sent to Capitol Hill, that after a little bit of effort on both sides of the aisle, that we got passed through Congress and signed by the President. And the person the President has put in charge of this effort is Secretary Donovan. And we've been speaking ever since the storm hit. Shaun's from this area. He has a lot of connections, both not only to New York, but to New Jersey. And so this is not somebody who needs a map when he comes here, and that's really good. It's good for us. He knows, and his staff knows, the ins and outs of this region. And so that's an enormous help to us going forward. Secondly, I'm really proud to be able to say that our staff here in New Jersey and the staff at HUD have worked seamlessly together, providing the information that they need to help to support the supplemental, and now as we move forward to put plans in place that we hope that we'll be able to agree upon with HUD to be able to begin to distribute the funds that the President and Congress has appropriated to be able to bring all these towns back to a vibrant life again by the summer. So we got a lot of work ahead of us, and it's not going to be easy, and there will be bumps along the road. But I know that the Secretary is committed to try to smooth out as many of those bumps as he can for us down in Washington, and I'm committed to working with him to make sure that the President's vision for what we need to do to help to recover is implemented here, and the vision that I have and that each one of these communities have, as embodied by their mayors and by their citizens, will be realized for our Jersey Shore and the other affected areas of the state. So I'm happy to be back in Seabright today. Happy to see things looking much better than the last time I was here, and I know the next time I come back it'll be looking even better. Mayor, of course, is always selling. You know that. She's always selling Seabright. I was over at Borough Hall. She's trying to sell me beach badges. Told me I'd get them for half price right now. I didn't bite yet. I'm hoping maybe I might get a better deal. We'll see. But if not, I might have to go for the half price or even the full price deal later on. But she is a tireless salesperson for your town, and you know that. And she was saying to me on the way up to the firehouse, there is no manual for this to teach you how to deal with this. Not for a mayor, not for a governor, and not for a HUD secretary. This is new stuff for all of us to have to deal with, but we're all working in good faith with each other to make sure that we work for all of you. So it's really my honor and my pleasure to introduce somebody that not only is a great public servant, but someone who, over the last 100 days, I consider to have become a friend, the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Shaun Donovan.
So it is wonderful to be with all of you here in Seabright. I wish I were here under different circumstances, but the truth is that down in Washington, D.C., we heard about this town called Seabright that was doing really amazing things to recover. We heard about a mayor who has done some of the most innovative things where she couldn't get help. In one place, she looked under a different rock. She went a different place and has been able to bring together a community to recover from something I imagine not a single person in this room would have thought they would ever see in their lifetimes. That is the kind of spirit that I've seen here in Seabright today and all along the Jersey Shore. It's the spirit of a restaurant owner who by God, is going to get open and feed thousands of people, volunteers that are here, before the oven's working, before the soda machine is back up. That's the kind of spirit that I have seen. So I want to start by just saying thank you to each and every one of you for that miraculous spirit that I've seen. And I'm going to keep wearing my T-shirt when I go back to D.C. I also will say that, too often these days in this country, it seems like we can't get things done together, and particularly in Washington, D.C. And so when the president came to New Jersey right after this storm, and he said, look, I'm not a Democrat, I'm an American, and I'm going to stand and work with Christie to help this state recover as quickly as possible, what did he find? He didn't find a Republican governor or a politician. He found a Jersey guy, an American who was going to stand up and fight to get this state back as quickly as possible, and was going to do the right thing no matter what the cost, no matter what anybody said, and just keep fighting. That's what Christie has done every single day, and I will tell you, I'm going to be here every single day fighting with you, Governor Christie, to make sure we help Seabright and all of New Jersey come back as quickly as possible. Thank you for your leadership. Now, with those little political squabbles that we have to happen to have in D.C., it took us 90 days, more than 90 days, to get a $60 billion supplemental passed. The President said it was too long. Christie said it was too long. Only because your delegation, Bob Menendez, Frank Lautenberg, Congressman Pallone, and all the congresspeople from across the state came together and said, enough. Get this thing done. It finally got passed. And just yesterday, I was able to say to the governor, here is $1.8 billion to help this state and Seabright start toward the road to a full recovery. The law said we had to get that money out in 60 days. We did it in 1/10 that time, the fastest we've ever made an allocation of that funding. We're going to keep working with the state, with the mayor, and make sure, I can't promise you that everything's going to be fixed tomorrow. Looks a heck of a lot better today than it did 90 days ago. 90 days from now, it's going to look a lot better. But for some folks, it's a couple years before we're going to be fully rebuilt. And we need to keep coming back, keep pushing, and you need to keep your spirits up to make sure this happens. I just want to say, this is not just a job for me. As the governor said, I'm from this area. My house in Brooklyn that I left to go work for the president, just a couple blocks away were the floodwaters. I went to a funeral for a friend's daughter who was killed in the storm. I have friends whose homes and businesses still aren't open in Brooklyn today. I married up, as the governor says. I married a Jersey girl. Her family and friends are still struggling in this state. And Laurel Blatchford, who is running this task force that the president set up that I'm the chair of, her husband, Bernie Kluger, lived above the hardware store for 2 years while teaching at Tinton Falls Middle School. So this is personal to all of us. We will be here coming back as long as this takes. Please keep up the spirit that you have. Keep fighting. Keep working. Because if you do what you've done these last 101 days, if this mayor keeps doing what she's doing, if this governor keeps doing what he's doing, nothing can stop us from getting Seabright back and going. Thank you for everything that you're doing. Thank you.